Phelps, Rusty, thanks for coming.
Can you blood type the shoes that we bagged and see if they're a match?
Sure. It'll all be in the report, but I'm assuming you want the details now?
Please. Cause of death is strangulation?
Correct. Take a look at the samples on the bench.
What are the normal uses for that kind of rope?
On boats, mooring lines.
Correct. Although Ray says that they're sometimes used as bell ropes in churches.
So are we looking for a sailor or a minister?
Well, in my experience, sailors seem to have the greater libido.
Was Mrs. Muller criminally attacked?
No external or internal traces of semen.
Thanks, Mal. Anything else comes up, you let us know. Can you drive to this one?
Fine. Where are we headed?
That's the guy from the papers. Solved that big case.
Phelps, 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
Wow.
I need an address on a Belmont High School.
Checking for you, Detective. Belmont High, 1575 West 2nd Street.
Are there any messages for me?
Yes, Detective. A green 1946 coupe registered to Mrs. Hugo Muller has been found in the parking lot adjoining the Belmont High School and playing fields. Captain Donnelly wants you to head down there immediately to take the school janitor's statement.
Thank you. You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going? Not exactly the happiest of places, the coroner's office.
Carruthers is a good man, professional, diligent. If you're working with a pro, it's easy to overlook the grim realities of a place like that.
Funny job, that, the coroner's.
How so?
You know, you don't want them enjoying their work too much. The wrong kind of man can get awfully lonely rattling around a joint full of corpses.
Rusty, that's like something out of the pulps.
You been reading the same ones as me?
I thought you were usually too drunk to get through a magazine.
You know, if I close one eye and squint, you can just about make out the print.
This is the car?
Yes, sir, Detective.
Have you looked it over?
Superficially. I was told to wait for you guys.
Thanks. We'll take it from here. What time did you see the person park the car?
Late last night, after school social, maybe 1 a.m. I've been keeping a good eye out lately. We've had problems with the child molester.
And this was the same man?
I don't know, sir. I mean, I'd like to say yes, but truth is, it was pretty dark.
All right. Tell me about this man you've been having trouble with.
He hangs near the playground, tries to befriend the children. He was around here last night before the dance.
Is he violent?
Yes, sir, I would say so, yes. There's the son of a bitch now. Hey, you!
Go, Phelps. I'll take the car and see if I can cut him off.
What's your name?
Who's asking?
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Name's Eli Rooney.
You've been in trouble with the law before, Eli?
Some.
What are you doing around here?
I like to keep an eye on the children.
Strictly paternal, is it, Eli?
Don't sass me, boy.
A woman was abducted here last night, Eli, and murdered.
And I would love to make you for that, you oaky motherfucker.
Well, I wouldn't know nothing about that. A woman, you say? I like 'em a little younger than that.
Turn out your pockets, Eli.
Now, why would I do that?
Because I'm about to break your fucking skull, Eli.
You're under arrest, Eli. You are in very deep trouble.
Why bother with the paperwork, Eli? I'm going to take out my gun, and I'm going to count to 5. Let's see how fast you can run now.
Hang on a goddamn minute. I found that thing in the parking lot.
Get some backup out here, Rusty. We need to get this one downtown and into a cell.
I'll tell them we got a kitty raper coming in. They can roll out the red carpet.
Blood and skin samples. We better get Ray Pinker out here.
It's from a Chrysler. Could be important.
The overalls are stenciled HM. Muller is a mechanic. I wonder what Eli does for a living. So what next?
Rooney's on his way to the tank. That'll make himself at home. You should call in.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need interrogation set up at Central for both suspects being held in the Muller homicide case.
Certainly, Detective. I'll get in touch with the watch commander.
Thanks, ma'am. You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Fine. Where are we headed? I say we make Rooney for this. I think we should lay it on him. He was near the car, he had her jewelry, the DA will love him for it.
Even if he didn't do it?
Who cares whether he did it? You have kids, Phelps? He needs to be taken permanently out of harm's way.
And we let Mueller slide?
For a while. He gets a free pass for now. Better not go soft on me in here, Phelps.
We'll work the evidence, Rusty. Let him do the rest. Are they ready?
Bowler's in 2 and the pervert's in 1. Get in there and get a conviction.
Captain, we were on our way to interview Eli Rooney.
Yes, Phelps, I know. This particular fiend is an old acquaintance. I have tried to reaffirm his belief in a wrathful and terrible God. Whichever way it goes, I'll be dealing personally with him.
You look like you've had it rough.
You see me asking for your sympathy, boy?
You down on your luck, Eli?
I had worse. My family ate roadkill during the Dust Bowl.
But you have a job. A parolee has to have a job, correct?
I had me a job down in San Pedro. I'm looking for something new.
What kind of job, Eli?
Working fishing boats, odd jobs around the boatyards. I'm pretty good with my hands.
You ever tie up any of your victims, Eli?
It's not a nice thing to go calling them.
What would you call them?
I can't say. I learned a long time ago not to go talking about the things I like. Talking about it just seems to get people's dander up.
Answer the goddamn question, Rooney, before I brain you.
See what I mean? Short answer is yes.
You have any preference regarding rope, Eli?
I know a good rope from a bad rope, if that's what you mean. That's not what you mean, is it? Any old rope will do me fine.
Farm boy like you, Eli, must prefer McGay for roping. Am I right?
I prefer braid. You tie a hitch and braid, it stays tied.
You killed Mrs. Mueller and stole her jewelry.
That ain't so. I ain't done nothing like that.
You have no job and nowhere to live by the smell of things, and you need money. You've been in trouble before, Eli. Who do you think a jury will believe?
I've been in trouble for other things, but I ain't never killed no one. I saw that car coming to the parking lot late last night. Man got changed there and then put his coveralls in the trunk. I saw him drop the butterfly in the lamplight and he strolled out, cool as you like. And I went over and I picked it up.
I don't like you, Eli. I think you're an evil man. I think you try to pass off your pain to other people. I can't make you for this case, but my consolation is that I don't think you will be out of prison for very long.
You can count on it, shitbird. By the way, Eli, the captain and the Hat Squad would like to talk to you next. Any idea what they might want to talk about? For my money, Hugo Muller's our #1 suspect. The evidence is solid. I think it's time we hit him with it.
Here's where we stand, Hugo. Your next-door neighbor heard screaming coming from your house. You were burning your blood-stained shoes. You have no one who can confirm your whereabouts last night. Your daughter says you're a violent man. We have everything we need to send you to death row, and all you have to say for yourself is, I didn't do it.
I swear I didn't kill her. Give me that lie test. I can prove it.
Why did you burn your shoes, Hugo?
Because I knew you'd never believe me.
Are you going to tell me what I want to know, or do we have to take it out of you in lumps?
Give it your best shot. I can take whatever you're throwing.
Do you know anything about ropes, Hugo?
As much as the next man. I was a scout. I learned some more in the Army.
You learned to strangle with the rope in the Army?
With rope, with my bare hands, but mainly with wire. I learned a lot of things in the Army, but I still didn't kill my wife.
For argument's sake, what type of rope would you use?
If I had to, I would use a triple braid. Less flex, easier to control.
Your wife was beaten with a tire iron, Hugo. An appropriate choice of tool for a mechanic.
I know nothing about any tire iron.
You're gonna die for this, Mueller. Better give me something if I'm gonna believe your story.
My conscience is clear. You can't badger me into admitting anything.
We found your wife's car. Someone parked it at the school late last night. Do you have anything to say about that?
It wasn't me.
Where do you keep your work clothes?
I keep them at work in my locker.
What color are your overalls?
Green. We all wear green. It's a company policy.
We're letting you go for now, Mueller. Go home and see your daughter, and work on your story. It's got more holes than a batting cage.
That's the guy. Detective. That's him. That's the guy who parked the car. I'm sure of it. Hey, he's getting away!
That's not true. I can't go to jail.
Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close. Hit it. Clean this asshole off the road. I'm trying to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck.
It ends here, Hugo. Once we get the janitor's statement, you'll be staring down a murder charge.
I have to say I'm disappointed. I stood in front of a troop of reporters and made promises. Promises of swift and fearful retribution, and you bring me an armful of vagary and happenstance. You made the department look bad, lad. Do it again and your career as a policeman will come to an abrupt and ignominious end. You two are back on the streets. Find street criminals, roust them, beat them, and restore some fervor to your police work. Your next case will come when you've revived my faith in your abilities. Now get out of here!
We captured 2 regular army.
Lieutenant!
Belt, we've been over this. That sniper barely missed you back on the beach. Until the mission is over, there'll be no more saluting or signs of rank.
I'm in charge here, Medier!
Do you wish to interrogate the prisoners?
No, they're beat. Why they look so sullen?
You're wondering why we haven't killed them yet. There is no greater shame than being taken prisoner.
Get this, Golden Boy actually seems to know what he's doing.
あなた方の階層と名前を名乗ってください。
第44大部隊所属兵だ。
キッシュマン、何様だと思ってるんだ。
See that, boys? He slapped that Jap right upside the head.
It was merely to remind him of his place. His shame was the tone of voice that he used with a superior. I respect the Japanese, Corporal.
Respect, we're here to kill the sons of bitches.
Do you know why we are fighting the Japanese, Private?
With respect, sir, these bastards attacked Pearl Harbor.
And why did they attack Pearl, Private?
Because they hate the US of A and our way of life.
They attacked the US because we cut off their oil. What would we do if another country denied us the gas to run our cars?
Ah, Phelps. I was just discussing with Finbar here how well you were doing. Have a seat.
Yeah, it's my real name. And you can just forget all about it.
You boys have a new case. A poor Hispanic woman murdered near City Hall and left lying naked in an alleyway.
Another naked woman, sir?
Yes. We seem to have had quite a run of them since the Dahlia fiend first struck.
Phelps is politely trying to hint that he thinks the Mendez case is hokey.
Well, young Phelps, you win some and you lose some in police work.
You're happy with the Mueller case, sir?
Over the moon, boys! The DA couldn't be more pleased with the evidence, the witness, and the lack of an alibi. Now, get out there and catch me another sinner.
You can drive.
You have the address?
It's the alley off Aliso between Los Angeles and Alameda.
You're kidding. The next one will be opposite Central Station.
Count yourself lucky, Phelps. Most guys would kill to land a case so close to their desk.
Yeah, it means they can pop in to hit the office supply of hooch whenever they need it.
You know, that ain't a bad idea. That is not a bad idea at all, Phelps.
The lock on our front door.
Detectives, they're ready to start the show. I'll take you through.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Carruthers, Pinker.
Cause of death is pretty apparent. We thought we'd best wait for you. When you're ready.
If she took a blow to the head like the others, she was probably unconscious when strangled.
May as well follow the trail.
Antonia, it's a start. Kiss the blood, BD.
Only 21 years old. But why the library card? Did he want us to find it?
Another wedding ring torn from the finger. No skin under the fingernails. Lacerations on the neck, but indicate a great deal of force. The evidence in the Mueller case was solid. I'm not convinced about Mendez.
The best way to get away with murder is to pin it on somebody else. I'll bet a month's salary this is a copycat.
Strangled, battered,
Yeah, we know the M.O. So does every jerk who kills his wife and girlfriend looking for a way out. I've spoken to Brown. He still believes the Dahlia perp has medical experience.
4 women, all murdered, all put on display, all with messages.
Mueller had no message. Look, Phelps, this is getting us nowhere.
Anything for us to go on, Mal?
Head injuries from contact with road, bruising from a small man's shoe, further blunt force trauma to the occipital region at the base of the skull. Could have been fatal, but clear signs of strangulation would seem to rule it out.
Lipstick appears to be a similar color to the other cases. I'll see if I can nail down a brand.
This is a secure area. You all need to leave.
Can we discuss this later? Another day, another dollar.
On it goes.
House keys, strung up like bait on a hook. That's got to be a code or a cipher. You think he's trying to lead us somewhere?
Probably all the way to City Hall, that Torres son of a bitch.
Where are you taking us?
Mrs. A. Maldonado. Could it be Antonia Maldonado?
He clearly wants us to find these things. He's left them for us.
There you go, Phelps. You got a new M.O. I told you it wasn't our guy.
Or he might just be getting more confident. Enameled and gold-plated. This was precious to her.
The trail points up.
Pulled from the finger and hung up here. What's the significance? Looks as though the killer was decorating with this. Son of a bitch wants her identified. Mrs. Antonia Maldonado, 712 North Hill Street, downtown.
You're behind the wheel.
And where exactly are we going? It was Mrs. Maldonado, right?
That's affirmative.
All right, so then there's a husband we should be looking for. Get him, we've closed the case.
Rusty's razor, of course. I don't want to question your tried and tested techniques, Detective Galloway. But doesn't the DA require sound casework before he'll close the book?
Not if he's got a confession. And, you know, there's ways of getting those.
I'm sure.
Wait just a moment. I'm sorry. Can I help you?
LAPD, ma'am. Detective Phelps and Galloway. Does Mrs. Maldonado live here?
Yes, she does. I'm Mrs. Barbara LaPente, the owner of this boarding house. Is there a problem?
I'm afraid so, ma'am. Do you mind if we come in? Is there somewhere we can discuss this?
Of course. Follow me through to the parlor. Wipe your feet as you come in, detectives. It's this way.
Mrs. Maldonado was found dead this morning.
Dead? Oh, no. She can't be.
I'm afraid she was murdered, ma'am. We need to take a look at her things.
I can't believe it. A person seems so alive, and then they're gone. Antonia's room is upstairs, last door on the left.
Thank you. We'll be back shortly.
Excuse us a moment, ma'am. What are we waiting for? Look at that.
Okay, we have an address. Charm bracelet wasn't among the crime scene evidence. The smashed window explains why the place looks tossed.
You know how I feel about windows, Phelps.
So someone broke in using this thing instead of a crowbar. Wonder where it was taken from. We have some questions, ma'am, if you're up to it.
Yes, Detective. I'll do my best.
Do you have any idea who might have wanted to hurt Mrs. Maldonado?
That rat of her husband, Angel. She was serving him divorce papers.
If I killed every wife to serve me papers, I'd be a mass murderer.
Are you being flippant, young man?
No, ma'am.
What can you tell us about Angel Maldonado?
She married him when she was 17. He was cruel to her, very cruel. She was a good girl, little on the religious side, but a good girl.
What time did Antonia go out yesterday?
She left around 9.
Do you know where she went?
No, I have no idea. She was a good girl, but she didn't confide in me.
A nosy old hag like you knows everything about the people who live under her roof. Where did she go?
I think she went to a bar. She's been drinking quite a lot lately.
This bar have a name?
El Dorado Bar. It's a Latino place on North Los Angeles Street.
That's only a couple of blocks from where we found the body.
You've had a break-in?
No! That can't be true.
The window's broken, the room's been tossed. You seem like the type of landlady who notices everything that happens under her roof. What gives?
Don't take that tone of voice with me, young man.
Antonia and her husband were estranged?
Yes. She moved here after she separated from her husband 2 months ago.
But Antonia still wore a wedding ring?
She wore the wedding ring and a necklace. She always wore a religious necklace. That's about all of her jewelry.
We didn't find any jewelry upstairs. You haven't pocketed any evidence, have you?
That's outrageous. Are you accusing me of theft?
Thanks, ma'am. You've been very helpful.
Pay a call to that husband of hers. Lock him up and throw away the key.
We can either front Angel, seeing as the finger's pointing right at him, or we could check out the El Dorado bar.
Can you drive to this one?
Fine. Where are we headed?
Continue to respond.
A nosy old hag? Ha! And I thought I was coming on strong with the ex-wives line.
Sometimes you have to be firm to get the information you need.
God damn it, ain't that the truth?
PEGI Radio.
A rayon.
What can I get you?
LAPD. Detectives Phelps and Galloway.
Diego Aguilar. How can I help?
You worked the bar last night?
Yeah. Me and a temp guy from the agency.
Did you have a woman in here last night? 21 years old, Hispanic, drinking heavily?
We have a lot of ladies like that in here. But yeah, I know who you mean. Antonia Maldonado. So what did she do?
She was murdered last night.
Oh, shit.
Do you know her well? Was she a regular?
Hell no. She was good and tight last night, complaining about her old man. It's a story you get used to working in a bar. She was so hammered last night, she left a letter on the bar. I'll show you.
A waitress, can I have another spoon?
divorce papers. Did you open them?
No need to. She was shouting about it and waving the letter around. Said she was going to show him.
Can you remember what jewelry she was wearing?
She had a necklace. Some kind of religious thing, I think. The temp guy would have more of an idea. She took the beer he served her and cried into it all night.
What time did she leave?
Can't say for sure.
Where did she go? Give me something or the LAPD will start getting interested in this place.
Take it easy. She wanted a cab, okay? And my phone was out of order. The closest one I knew was at the fruit market across the street, so I suggested she try there. She seemed reluctant.
Did Antonia say where she was going when she left?
She said she was going to serve the papers on the husband. Said that would take the smile off his face. If you ask me, she was scared. And the drink was for Dutch courage.
She attract any interest?
An extremely drunk young woman? What do you think? She managed to scare them off, though.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
No problem. Hey, get the guy, will you?
We'll do our best. One last question. What size shoe do you take, Mr. Aguilar?
A broad 9. I have wide feet.
Where's that goddamn waitress?
You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
How about we drop in on the husband instead? See if your gut is right.
I'll take a bar over a husband every day of the week.
Maldonado is in apartment 304.
Phelps, this could turn ugly. Forget about knocking. Let's take our boy by surprise.
Hey, what the fuck?
LAPD, motherfucker, you're under arrest.
You want to back off.
I got nothing to say to you.
Damn, they got some decent shots in there. Cuff these sons of bitches, Phelps.
LAPD, you two are under arrest. Call for some backup, Finbar.
Galloway, badge number 564. I need a prowl car at the apartment building 330 North Hill Street. 2 suspects need transporting to Central.
Your wife has been murdered, Angel.
Antonia? Oh, God, no!
Where were you last night, Angel?
I was here with my brother the whole night, goddammit! You think I'd kill my own wife?
We should get the whole place going over, then talk to the neighbors. And Phelps, I don't care that you just got smacked in the head. You don't call me Finbar.
This will take some explaining.
Maybe one of the neighbors took notice of Angel's movements. He's got no alibi. He's toast.
Just picked Fruit Market.
The El Dorado must be a family favorite.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Car 11K, come in. Car 11K, come in.
KGPL, 11 King, over.
11K, Captain Donnelly and Detective Sergeant Finnis Brown urgently request your presence at Central. A new letter has been found.
11K, en route.
Captain is waiting for you downstairs with Pinker.
He ran the light on him.
Sam's taking me out to Palm Springs for the weekend.
What the hell?
How bad is it? Come on, you can tell me.
Boys, come on in. Phelps, have you met Finnis Brown?
Pleased to meet you, sir.
This information is confidential and doesn't leave this room.
The new letter was left in the back seat of a cab. The driver thinks it was put through the window and not left by a customer.
We're checking all his fares back 24 hours regardless.
Good.
Like the previous letters, it's been assembled from headlines and typed from the Times and Examiner, then glued to an envelope.
What is the other note?
This one? That's also new. A poem, hand-typed.
Do you mind if I take a look?
Go ahead. We've been over both documents pretty carefully. They've been wiped with gasoline, so there's no chance of prints.
That's the message from the Celine Henry case. Heap upon thy soul by virtue of this curse.
That's why we called you in.
Do you think it's original?
Not unless he's a genius.
You like this nutjob's poem?
No, I like Shelley. It was written at least 100 years ago.
Shelley? Sure, I knew that.
You see, Finnis? I told you this lad was a bright boy.
Sure, but what has it got to do with the case?
Prometheus Unbound. Prometheus was a titan, a superhuman character who defied the gods to bring fire to humanity.
The Dahlia guy believes he's Superman.
Your guess is as good as mine. One thing for sure is that he's educated. What about the link to the Henry case?
He could have got the wording from the papers. As you said, he is fiendishly clever and takes pleasure in taunting us. What's happening with the Maldonado case?
We have the husband in custody. We haven't interviewed him yet.
Well, upstairs then, lads, and see if we can break him.
What the hell?
Improved your attitude, Angel?
What do you want me to say? I was with Antonia the night she died, but she left the apartment, and that was the last time I saw her.
So your wife paid you a visit last night. What time was that?
Late, around midnight, maybe? She didn't stay long.
What time did she leave?
Maybe 1 o'clock.
You and your wife weren't getting along. She was divorcing you. Is that why you killed her?
We fought, yeah, but we weren't getting a divorce.
I don't believe you, Angel. She'd been granted a decree nisi. She pushed you too far, and you lashed out.
I told you. I wouldn't accept a divorce.
The judge had set a date. You were going to be paraded in front of the whole city for your cruelty to her, Angel.
Antonia. Oh, Jesus. She came in drunk, out of her mind. She doesn't normally drink. She was looking around in her bag. Said she wanted to serve me papers. Me, her own husband. So I slapped her down. She ran out. That's the truth.
What size shoe do you wear, Angel?
Size 8. What difference does that make?
When we found your wife, her jewelry had been removed. Was she wearing her religious medallion last night?
Sure. She always wore that.
Looks like somebody broke into her room and stole her things there, too. Why'd you do it, Angel?
What the hell are you talking about? I was home with Hippolito.
Your wife has been brutally murdered. So how do you explain your shirt being covered in blood?
You found that? I cut myself shaving.
We're typing the blood, Angel. It won't look good if it matches your wife.
Because God is my witness. I didn't kill her!
One last question, Angel. Do the words kiss the blood mean anything to you?
No. Sounds sick to me.
You're not in the clear by any means, Angel. You're going back into a cell. You should think about whether you have anything else you need to share with us.
Mary says he'll sing, but only if I guarantee he walks.
Any ideas?
So, the fruit market was the last stop off Antonia made. Let's go.
You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
Another letter? I thought the letter was from a nut.
These letters? Brown and Hanson believe they are genuine. From him.
Now we sent another.
You know, I really hate this fuck. This Black Dahlia guy. You seen the body? Fucking cased its nozzle away at your guts. Hollywood. Every prom queen from every fucking hick town in America turns up here. Where do they end up? Gutted on the fucking sidewalk.
The handbag was left just up there, overlooking the market.
Could have come here from the start and saved ourselves a day's legwork.
I got a call back for that Universal
LAPD, Detective Phelps and Galloway.
Clem Feeney, what can I do for you?
Did you happen to see a young woman last night? 21 years old, Hispanic?
Sure, she came by last night. Why do you ask?
The young lady arrived around midnight?
Yeah, something like that. Used the phone for a cab and then left.
You already knew Mrs. Maldonado, didn't you, Clem?
Sure, I met her before. She seemed like a nice lady. Her husband went apeshit one day when he caught me talking to her. She had me back until last night.
Where did she go from here?
She wanted a cab, but I couldn't get her one. I was about to offer to drive her, but a car pulled up and she got into that.
Can you describe the car?
Brown Ford Coupe, I think. She seemed to know the guy.
Do you mind if we look around?
Why would you want to do that?
Because we say so.
I guess you can. Don't you have to get a court order or something? I have rights.
Clem? Shh. No wonder he stays open late at night. People have to get their vitamins. Check through this stuff before we get back out there.
So what are we hiding in here? This thing needs a combination. cut someone who was already dead?
It's a typical power thing. Once the stiff is dead, the creep usually feels they can do whatever they like. Must have seen it during the war. This fruit skull punk gets about 10 seconds to explain before I pull his fucking arms off.
Clem!
God damn it, get after him, Cole! I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck.
We should have grabbed him when we had the chance, Phelps. When we had the chance, we didn't know he was our guy.
Phelps, you gotta get me closer.
The fruit guy's getting away, Phelps. Strange that he'd leave a trail of blood right back to his own market. Maybe he wanted to be caught. A lot of them do. It's almost too perfect, isn't it? There's no such thing as too perfect. Now who's about to get picked?
Keep it steady and I'll try to bust his tires.
You're a sick man, Clem. You need help.
Outstanding job on this case, gentlemen. The poor woman can now rest in peace. I'll pay the fiend a personal visit myself and remind him that crime in this city does not go unpunished. When they finish with him at the receiving hospital, we'll have him up before the grand jury. I have a meeting this afternoon with the mayor lads. I'll be sure to mention your names. Now, on your way.
Sarge, why are the guys giving it to the doggies? They're riding in trucks, numbskull, while you're marching.
They look pretty badly beat up.
Yeah, they do it then. Scuttlebutt says it's pretty hard going down south.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough. Recon always leads.
How can we fail, Skip, with the Shadow leading the show?
Who the fuck is the Shadow?
Lieutenant Phelps, the Shadow of Death.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He's a quiet fucker, Sarge. Never hear the bastard coming.
Sitting there, field stripping a cigarette, and suddenly he's there looking down on you.
Why do you think we keep saluting that Jap-loving son of a bitch? He's bad juju.
That's enough out of you three. Bad juju? Where were you dragged up? A swamp?
Good morning, gentlemen, and what a grand morning it is, too. We have just cause for celebration. Galloway and Phelps are sending another fiend to San Quentin. A nice showy trial, and he'll be strapped down with gas seeping into his tiny reptile brain. Now, to fresh business. Galloway and Phelps, the task is at hand. The address is on the hill, north downtown off Fremont Avenue.
Skipper, is the new letter genuine?
Now, boys, we all know how many imbeciles have confessed in the short case. Ray Pinker
I'm
will let
telling
us
you,
know.
it'll never stick, and you'll get roasted.
Greetings from sunny California. When's it going to stop? You're behind the wheel. A fine morning indeed. We keep locking them up, and bodies keep piling up.
Yeah, California's love a fad, Phelps. As long as the bricks hold up at San Quentin, there'll always be killers in this town to send.
First the letter, and now another body. Come on, you can't keep on telling me there's not a killer still out there.
You know, Phelps, all these arrests on your record are giving you a reputation. You don't want them turning into unsolved.
Getting a vicious killer off the streets is more important than my reputation.
Really?
And besides, landing a big fat marlin is more impressive than an ocean full of minnows.
The minnows maketh the man, Phelps. You can't always hit home runs. Sometimes you just gotta make first base.
detectives.
Phelps and Galloway, homicide.
Scene is secure. The rest of the patrolmen are going door to door, canvassing for witnesses.
Thanks. Keep me informed.
Will do, Detective.
This looks awfully familiar.
I think that's the impression the boys from the Examiner took with them as well.
There's nothing original under the sun. Why should murder be any different?
What do we have so far?
Not much trace evidence to speak of. Storm blew in around 10 last night, and the rain washed most of it away.
And the body?
Looks like she was tipped out of an automobile from the tire tracks and superficial injuries. Strangled with a length of rope. And for my money, it's triple braid again.
Time of death?
From her temperature, maybe 2 a.m., but it was cold last night.
Usual head injuries.
Blunt force trauma. Knock him over the head, then strangle and mutilate. No message with this one.
At least she was left clothed.
I doubt very much he was concerned with her dignity.
The green silk dress is very distinctive. Any sign of her other shoe?
No. And no handbag or other personal effects.
Doesn't look like anything. No drag marks. The killer was moving around, surveying the scene. Our driver and our killer are most likely one and the same. There appears to be a dry cleaning label. Superior Laundry Services, F1363.
Detectives, I've been working the houses across the street and up the block. This lady thinks she has something for us.
Detective Phelps, LAPD.
I'm Mrs. Barton, Catherine Barton. I live just across the way.
Did you see anyone around here last night?
Not last night, but yesterday, early evening, I saw that awful hobo.
Do you have a description?
Tall, gaunt, horribly disfigured. I think he may have had an accident in the war. He's a very scary, angry man.
Any idea where we might find him?
One of the hobo camps around here. He's some kind of hobo leader. They all follow him around.
Thank you, ma'am. You've been a big help.
Of course. Anything I can do to help. I'd hate to think that something so ghastly could happen right here and nothing be done about it.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need an address on Superior Laundry Services.
Just a moment. Superior Laundry Services, 1260 West 1st Street.
Can you track down reports of hobo camps in the vicinity of Signal Hill?
Just a moment, Detective. There's a large camp under the bridge on Grand between Temple and Sunset.
Thanks. Can you drive to this one?
Fine. Where are we headed? No message.
Excuse me?
There was no message.
Where?
On the Vic. The last bodies had something written on them. This one didn't.
I'm failing to follow you.
Can't be the same guy is what I'm saying, right? Before you start trying to link this to Maldonado and all the others.
There are more factors to consider than the messages, Rusty.
This doesn't fit your pattern, Cole. End of conversation. Understand? At least the rain stopped. We can change back into those white bucks now.
Please, I have business to run.
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. We're investigating a case, and one of your laundry labels came up. F1363.
If you give me a minute, I'll go find a register and you can take a look. You take a look for yourself. I've got clothes that need pressing.
You wrote the number down on that dress, is it there?
Mrs. T. Terrellson, 43 Emerald Street, Westlake.
You can drive. And where exactly are we going? I've got a feeling we're about to meet another wife killer.
You've always got that feeling, Rusty.
Yeah, and it's usually correct.
Please, please, for once, can you not let your assumptions color your detective work?
Just you wait. Nordic types show a particular disposition for this stuff.
Continue to respond.
Hello? Yes?
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. Is your wife home, sir?
My wife went out last night and she hasn't come home.
Can you describe your wife and what she was wearing?
We were out at a friend's place, Bobby Ross's, for a party. She was kind of dolled up. She had her green silk dress, open-toed white shoes. Those are her favorite shoes.
Can we come in, Mr. Tarleton? I'm afraid we have some rather bad news. Do you have someone who can look after your children, Mr. Tarleton?
I've been trying to arrange a sitter. Look, tell me what's happened.
I'm afraid your wife was murdered last night. Her body was found this morning. We're very sorry for your loss. I know this is a difficult time, Mr. Tarleton, but we are going to need you to answer some questions. First, we're going to take a look around.
What for? You don't think
it's procedure. You see to your girls.
Stay here till Daddy's finished talking to these men.
Where's Mommy?
Everything's gonna be all right, sweetheart.
We would like Mommy to come home now, Daddy.
What's the problem, Tarleton? Let him search. You got nothing to hide. You want to hear something funny, Tarleton? Some bums think filling out a missing persons report actually rules them out as a suspect.
Need to check if she was a regular. If you'd excuse me, ladies.
This doesn't pertain to the case.
Lars was out in the rain last night. So she went out without her handbag? At least she was spared that particular indignity. She'd have to be in quite a state to leave this behind. We can see if Pinker can match the impression to the crime scene. I'll be out of your way momentarily, ladies.
I wonder why the picture was turned down. Baron's bar again. Someone must be real sweet on this dive. Not everything here is going to be relevant. Not sure this means much. incidental.
For the record, Mr. Terrelson, what is your wife's name?
Teresa.
Do you have any idea why anyone would want to hurt your wife?
No. Everyone loved Teresa. She was so full of life. It can't be anyone who knew her.
So you don't know anyone who would want her dead?
No, I don't.
You said you went to a party at Bobby Ross's place?
That's right. Bobby had a bunch of people over. We were having a good time. She said she was bored and decided to leave.
You let your drunk wife leave the party and go off on her own?
Look, I was angry. I was having a good time. She has to go and ruin it. We always have to do what she wants to do. Last night she wanted to go dancing.
Any idea where?
Where she always goes. A bar down on North Beaudry Avenue. Barron's Bar. She goes there, drinks too much, gets maudlin, and calls me. I go and bring her home.
Mr. Terrelson, was Teresa happy at home?
Yeah, I think she was.
Spill it, Terrelson. We like the look of you for this, so you better give us something.
We're at the party. She has a few and says she wants to go out dancing. We only have the sitter until 9. I get mad. I tell her to go ahead, but I'm staying. She storms out. Look, I'm doing well at cards. I hardly ever do well. I married her because she was so much fun, but now she drives me fucking crazy.
What time did she leave the party?
About 8:30, maybe a little earlier.
When was the last time you saw your wife?
Around 8:30. The card game at Bobby's was wrapping up. I played out my hand and drove home here. I paid the sitter and went to bed.
You're lying, Lars. You didn't come straight home, did you?
And how do you figure that?
You were out in the rain. You got soaked, Lars. We found your wet weather gear.
Okay, I stayed a little later than I said. This cute little brunette was hitting on me. Teresa noticed. I was half cut. I walked her home from Bobby's, but nothing happened. I walked back and got the car this morning.
Thanks for answering our questions, Mr. Terrelson. You'll need to go downtown to identify your wife's body.
I should have taken her dancing.
In my experience, Mac, you give in to broads, you'll be giving in to them your entire life.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Can you run an address for a Bobby Ross? Then send some uniforms over.
Would you like him picked up?
No. Suspect says he was with Ross last night. We need to confirm the alibi.
I'll get a prowl car dispatched.
Thanks for your help. Appreciate your time, sir.
You believe this guy's story?
Kind of rings true. You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Gents, drink?
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD.
I'm Benny Clough. This about Teresa Terrellson?
Yes, it is.
I heard about it on the radio. They're saying it was that Black Dahlia freak again? God damn it. Yeah, I rang that husband of hers. The babysitter said he was out.
If you don't mind, we have a few questions. What time did Teresa leave?
Around 10:30, I think.
On foot? In a car? By bus? How was it?
She called for a cab.
Did you get the number?
Sure I did. I like Teresa. The only time she has a drink is when things aren't going so good at home. I was worried about her.
God damn it all, I asked them to hold the mayo. I love these waitresses. Everyone's a doll.
Put out an APB on the cab. 3591. Should be traceable. Who was she with? We've had reports about a tall, gaunt-looking hobo. He wasn't here last night?
I get plenty of bums in here, but nothing to fit that description.
The likelihood is that whoever she left here with killed her. Give it up, Benny.
All right, two creeps were all over her, promising to take her dancing.
You get a good look at these guys?
Sure. I got a good look. One of them was a sailor in uniform. His cap said, USS Indiana.
And the other man?
The other guy is Richard Bates. He's sitting in the back right now. Red polo shirt.
Any idea where she was headed?
Nope. I didn't get that.
The husband said she wanted to go dancing.
And she always wants to dance when she's been drinking. She was trying to talk some guys into taking her to one of the dance halls.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Clough. We'll take it from here.
Hey, no problem.
This is Bates.
That's him.
LAPD, don't make me chase you, shitbird. Can't let the son of a bitch get away. Go, Phelps, get after it. Come on, got a ride. Get in and drive. I thought you were gonna leave me there.
Who knows what this guy will pull when he's cornered? We could have a killer on our hands.
Come on, Phelps, you're letting this lust get away from you. God damn it, get after him, Cole. I thought you were gonna leave me there.
Who knows what this guy will pull when he's cornered? We could have a killer on our hands.
Come on, Phelps, you're letting this lust get away from you.
I don't think the killer would be kicking back in the bar where he met the Vic in.
Listen, a creature of habit is your killer. For some reason, they're sticklers for routine. He's showing you how it's done. Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close. Hit him, Cole. Spit him out. Let's end this farce.
All right, you got me. I've had enough.
Give it up, LAPD! Okay, Bates. You're gonna answer some questions.
I have a choice in this.
Last night, you went drinking with a lady in the bar. Now she's dead, and your face is all messed up.
I'm in the clear on that. She preferred a sailor. You could lay it off on him. Are we finished?
Tell us about Teresa Terrellson.
What's to tell?
So what happened when you left the bar?
Sailor boy laid one on me. A cheap shot. After that, I don't know.
What happened to the woman?
Your guess is as good as mine.
You're coming in with us, Bates.
But I'm not your guy. What exactly am I being run in for?
You have a record, you ran from us, and there's the fact that I don't like you. That's 3 strikes in my book.
Take him to Central. He's a material witness in a murder case. Find him a cozy cell.
Richard here knows the drill.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an APB out on a yellow cab, number 3591. Ask dispatch to relay all sightings to car 11K.
No problem. I'll get on the radio.
Were there any incident reports filed in the vicinity of Barron's Bar on North Beaudry Avenue? We're tracking a sailor who was involved in a fight outside the bar.
I can check the reports, Detective. I have a message for you from Captain Donnelly. Message reads, James Jessup, U.S. Navy able seaman, has information relevant to your case. Jessup is currently being detained at Central Station.
Could be our man. Thanks, ma'am. You're behind the wheel.
And where exactly are we going?
He's in interview 2.
Thanks. What do you make of him?
Sailor on furlough who looks like he's in trouble and knows it.
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. We know why you're here, Jessup, so it would be best if you answered our questions truthfully.
I don't want any trouble. That's why I'm here. I heard on the radio about this lady getting killed. I got leave from my CO to come down straight away.
So why did you kill her?
I didn't kill anyone. Look, you need to believe me.
Let's start at the beginning. You went to Barron's Bar. What time did you arrive?
I got a 24-hour pass. I got there around 7.
That's where you met Teresa Terrellson?
Sure. We had a couple of drinks.
So you tried to make a woman who was incredibly drunk?
Look, I'm not proud of myself, but I never hurt her.
You took her dancing?
That's right. Caught a cab to the Crystal Ballroom.
You had a fist fight with Richard Bates over Mrs. Terrellson.
You met the guy? He's a creep. You should take a look at him for this.
So you were defending Mrs. Terrellson's honor?
Yeah, something like that.
If your story doesn't check out, Jessup, we're hanging you out to dry. Can you put the guy in 2 in a cell and inform the commander?
Sure, Detective. Got a message for you. Sighting of your disfigured hobo on Grand between Temple and Sunset. And it looks like the Beau has a record, too. He's wanted in connection with 2 female assaults.
Thanks. You can drive.
Fine. Where are we headed?
I think we ought to investigate the hobo lead.
Well, if you think we ought to, I guess we ought to. 3 suspects in the can and 1 on the hoof. And still no hard evidence on any of them.
KGPL to car 11K. 11K, come in.
11K, go ahead.
Patrolman reporting that Bobby Ross's car game is breaking up at midnight.
11K, roger that. Plenty of time to get downtown, Cole.
It's possible. Have them bring him in.
KGPL, we have Lars Terrellson picked up.
11K, roger.
LAPD, we'd like a word with you.
Save it for someone who's interested. They're fascists. Come to move us on and steal what little we have left.
6 rounds won't get us far.
I need you to stay copacetic, Phelps. You need to hold out for the cavalry round.
How do we do that?
Like this.
If you want your rightful share, we need to fight for
Disciples
it.
know. Killing. What's your name?
Comrade Stalin.
Very funny. We'll find out from your personal effects.
Stuart Ackerman.
You're under suspicion for murder, Ackerman. We're taking you downtown.
You can't do anything more to me than what the Japanese have already done.
The Kremlin's over here, Phelps. Toss it and see what you find.
Looks familiar. Safe bet it'll match the mark under Teresa Terrellson's chin. Ackerman doesn't look like much of a dancer.
You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
The husband has an alibi, but no real motive other than neglect. Jessup's alibi checks out. Bates is a recidivist. He'll be pulling the same stick until we put him away for good. Ackerman has history, opportunity, hard evidence. What motive?
We have the evidence. We know she was here. All we need is a confession, and we can charge the bum with murder. We're going this way.
I mean, you know you made it if you got that.
Ackerman, you were in the Marines.
How do you know?
The Corps selected big guys for flamethrower duty. That's how you got the burns.
Life expectancy was 5 minutes for a guy in flamethrower detail. What kind of a government puts weight like that on a man's shoulders?
You'll get no argument from me. It was a heavy load.
You feeling sorry for this smelly fuck?
Why did you kill Mrs. Terrelson?
I have no recollection of the people I have killed.
You hate women, Ackerman?
More than you could ever imagine.
How much did you hate Mrs. Terrelson?
I ache to put my seed in them. Afterwards, I have no use for them.
A bus driver dropped Mrs. Terrelson near your camp around 2 a.m. Why did you take her up to the hill?
Which hill? I have many places. I go where I please.
Tell us that you killed Mrs. Terrelson, Ackerman. It's your only chance for help.
Why would anyone help me?
Stuart Ackerman, I am charging you with the murder of Teresa Terrelson.
A man down on his luck I can abide. But a filthy red who chooses to live outside the rules of society, I cannot stomach. Maybe poor Teresa Terrelson will provide the catalyst we need. I've spoken to the chief and the mayor, and I think it's time we send some men in to remove the godless and send them on their way over the county line. A grand day that will be, gentlemen. And a grand result you have brought me. You two are fast becoming my finest crusaders.
The flames in me Don't leave me singing this torched song when I'm burning.
Of course we will look into it. Yes, I'm aware that it's an election year. Keep a hold of your hat, Counselor. Now is not the time to lose your nerve. It would appear that someone has hocked a rose gold wedding ring and matching engagement ring. Sound familiar?
Deirdre Muller.
Press the pawnbroker and see what you can find out. The address is 348 South Main Street. The Muller case goes before the grand jury next week, and the DA does not want any egg on his face. Then get out to the railroad depot on Santa Fe Avenue. We have another poor unfortunate found this morning beside a railroad line. A 40-year-old white woman.
Right, Skipper.
Another body and Deirdre Muller's ring. The Emperor may soon have to come to terms with the fact that he's wearing no clothes.
Exactly did you get that book of riddles shoved up your ass, Phelps? Is that what your old man paid college tuition for?
You've got to admit, this is looking odd.
Anyone could pawn a ring.
But if you take it along with all of the other indicators...
Cole, Hugo Moeller was identified by the school's groundkeeper. He's our guy.
Witnesses have fingered the wrong guy before.
He ran, for God's sake.
And he always maintained he was set up.
How can I help you boys?
Detectives Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. You have a rose gold wedding and engagement ring?
David Bremner. Am I gonna get something for this pledge? Gave that bum money, now you guys are gonna leave me short.
How much did you give him?
$50?
Try another number.
20?
Try 10. You feel lucky you're getting it.
I have the rings right here.
What's this mark here?
Maker's mark. Usually traceable. That one came from Hartfield's Jewelry down on Broadway.
Thanks for the tip. Does this mark mean anything?
Hallmark. Gives you an idea of the quality.
What have you got on the guy who brought these in?
Goes by the name of Percy B. Shelley. Gave an address. 15 Poland Street, London, Tulare County.
Can you give us a description of the man who pawned these rings?
Not sure. Medium height, medium build. Dark hair, I think. Sorry. He just had one of those forgettable faces.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Bremner. You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Fine. Where are we headed?
We have a problem.
We could have the local troopers check out the Tulare County address.
The address is bogus. Perp is having fun with us. The guy who's been sending the Dahlia letters is also the guy who pawned these rings.
How do you figure that one?
Percy Bysshe Shelley wrote the poem that came with the Dahlia letter. If the Dahlia letters are genuine, then the man who killed Elizabeth Stewart may have also killed Deirdre Mullen.
And how do we prove that, Phelps? Skipper ain't gonna like this one bit.
We're gonna have to rely on this guy tripping up on his own vanity.
You boys ready? Follow me.
We should keep this development with the ring under our hat until we speak with the captain.
We're all on the same team, Rusty.
Chain of command, Phelps. The skipper will decide who needs to know. Got it?
I get it, Rusty. I just don't like it. Hard, isn't it?
Yeah. I look after all the rail depots.
What have you got?
The Negro, Nelson Gaines, called it in. I came down here to make sure him and the other guy, Jameson, stuck around.
Jameson found the body?
Something like that. Guy makes me sick.
We'll talk to the coroner. Keep an eye on both of them. We could go over to the lot and see what they know about her.
That's gonna be difficult, Cole. Keystone Studio lot closed back in 41.
Someone was trying to get her to come home. Maybe someone at Mensch's will remember her. This is a chit for personal items, not booze. It's an angle worth investigating. What have we got here?
White female, approximately 40 years of age, lipstick smudges on the face, but no writing, at least nothing legible. A blunt force trauma to the temple, nose, and eye regions. Ligature marks point to the probable cause of death being strangulation.
Any idea of the time of death?
From her temperature, after midnight would be my guess.
The smell?
Very good. There is the usual evacuation smell, but it appears she's been living rough for quite some time.
Very strong smell of alcohol.
The autopsy will tell, but I would assume that she was inebriated.
Another missing ring.
Certainly seems I've been swabbing a lot of bare fingers recently.
Can you be more exact about the time of death?
No later than 2 a.m. The state the body was in, a 1 or 2 hour window is the best I can do.
Detective Phelps and Galloway, homicide. Can you tell me exactly what happened?
We were shutting cars over to the main line when I saw this man here lying on top of this woman. The woman wasn't moving and seemed to be in a bad way.
What time was this?
About 7:30 this morning, sir.
Thanks for your help. Have you given Patrolman Hart your details?
I have, sir.
Thank you. You can go now. Detective Phelps, LAPD homicide.
John Ferdinand Jameson.
We need you to answer some questions, John.
If you don't mind, I prefer Ferdinand.
Don't push your luck, knucklehead.
What were you doing to the body, Ferdinand?
Are you sure you won't be upset?
Try me, Ferdinand.
I was kissing her. It's not against the law.
Shut up.
There's no
Take
law
your
against
beating
it.
like a man.
Turn out your pockets, Ferdinand. Classic Carmine. Is this yours, Ferdinand?
No. I found it near her purse. I thought she could use some lipstick.
Rusty, stop! Don't hit him. You went through her purse?
It wasn't like she needed it. I took a look.
Did you take any money?
Wasn't any to take. I found her lipstick and her matchbook over on the mat. Not much else.
You found the body?
Yes, I did. I work here. I was coming off shift and headed home.
Why didn't you report the body, Jameson? Do you know how this is going to look to a jury?
A jury? What gives? I could tell that she was dead. I came through here about midnight last night. She wasn't here then.
Let me belt him again.
You're under arrest, Jameson. We'll see how this plays out. Until then, you can think a little on how you'd like to be treated if you were found dead.
I'm telling you, it's not illegal. Me and some friends of mine...
Clyde, you get this sack of shit into a cell. I'll deal with him later.
Sure, Rusty.
What now?
I say we check out Mentz's place. By the smell, this broad spent a good chunk of time hopping bars.
You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going? Read that those goddamn Chinese want to sell the relief food that we're sending them?
Yeah. Yeah, I read about that.
Those people are starving. They can't do that.
Want to sell the food to fund the civil war against the communists.
Really? I guess that's okay then.
Armies can't fight without food. Spend all your money on weapons, but you still have to have the will to fight. Fortunately, the Reds will win in China.
Watch your mouth. You know what you're saying?
The people of this country overthrew a king. You think the Chinese will balk at an emperor if they are starving?
Drink, fellas.
Phelps, Galloway, homicide. We need to ask you some questions concerning Evelyn Summers.
I'm Walter Mensch. Evelyn Summers, what is it now?
You knew Evelyn?
As well as I wanted to know Evelyn. She's a pain in the ass, always coming in here, cadging drinks, never had any money. She was in just a couple of nights ago.
Did she ever tell you where she was staying?
I don't know. I think she was living rough. She had that kind of stunk about her.
Who did she drink with?
A bunch of these guys. Ask around.
What's your name?
Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Mind if I ask you some questions, Mr. McCaffrey?
I'm just a starving writer, detective. What do you want to ask about?
Evelyn Summers, and why she was found beaten and strangled in the rail depot on Santa Fe.
Okay. I see your point.
How well did you know her?
I can't say that I knew her. It was more like I was aware of her.
Did you see Evelyn last night?
No. I was at home, writing.
Do you want to get dragged into this, McCaffrey? Do you want us to get interested in you?
She hung out with this powder puff, James Tiernan. They haunted the public library together.
How well do you know James Tiernan?
I know he works some kind of plebeian job at Rawlings Bowling Alley.
Rawlings. I know that place. Corner of 9th and Grand. A lot of cops bowl there on Tuesday nights.
Do you have a criminal record, Mr. McCaffrey?
Nothing serious. I've had a few skirmishes.
But nothing reprehensible.
No. The odd parking ticket. That kind of thing.
Thank you for the information, Mr. McCaffrey.
There should be a game well or a phone somewhere. See if you can get an address in the liquor store.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address on Levine's Liquor, closest store to the Santa Fe Avenue rail yard, if possible.
Just a moment, Detective. Closest store would be the one at 939 South Hope Street.
Thank you. You're behind the wheel.
Fine. Where are we headed?
What did you make of McCaffrey?
There'll come a day, and it's coming very soon. We'll run him and the rest of his pinko buddies out of Los Angeles.
I meant as a suspect, Rusty.
Hello, Rusty. Two on your usual lane?
I'm Detective Feltz. Homicide.
You must be new. What's your shoe size?
This is business, Florence. You got a guy who works here by the name of Tiernan?
Sure we do. He's a pin setter. Clears the jams, works the gutters. Go right in. He'll be hopping around the lanes toward the back. He's a nice boy.
Thanks, ma'am. Let's go get him.
He's only a writer. He can't really help me.
Tiernan! LAPD! There!
What are you waiting for? Get after him!
We might go faster if we weren't carrying the extra weight. These are flashy cars to be parked outside a bowling alley.
The lanes attract a fast-living individual with money to burn.
Or a middle-aged individual with the need to feel virile.
Phelps, you gotta get me closer! Another runner. At least we've got a suspect.
Why do they always run? I'm sure we've got the wrong person in more than one of these homicides, but they always seem to lam it.
You know, your theories are not airtight by any means. I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck. Hit him, Cole. Spin him out. That is the end of that. It's about fucking time.
If this isn't the killer, we can at least get him for reckless and...
Put your hands in the air! You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
What can I do for you?
LAPD, Phelps and Galloway. We're making inquiries into the murder of Evelyn Summers.
Evelyn? She's dead?
You knew Evelyn Summers, Mr.
Robbins. Yes, I knew Evelyn. I was a good friend of her ex-husband. She kept some of her stuff here.
Can you show us, please?
Sure. Come this way.
You got some fine stock here, Mr. Robbins. You know, you let us take some for the road, this case might get solved a lot quicker.
He's joking, Mr. Robbins.
She kept a bed here, but I probably shouldn't have let her. An alcoholic in a liquor store, that was never going to work out, was it?
We'll take a look around. She wasn't always such a loner. Evelyn was reading Aristotle?
Evelyn wasn't stupid. The only stupid thing about her was her need to drink.
And she was borrowing books from Grosvenor McCaffrey. Rawlings Bowling Alley. Maybe Evelyn did something other than drink in her spare time. When exactly did Evelyn work in the pictures?
A few years ago. She worked in legal copyrights for music.
I'm guessing Evelyn hadn't held down a job for quite some time before she was killed. We're trying to account for Evelyn's movements yesterday.
She came by in the morning.
A social visit? To pick up some of her things?
She had a couple of bucks and bought a quart of rye.
Any idea where the money came from?
She didn't mention it, but she did say the booze was a present for a boy. She said they had been fighting and she had to make it up to him.
Were you and Evelyn close, Mr. Robbins?
Many people will be sad she's gone. I'll be one of the few.
We got the impression that Evelyn had been sleeping rough of late.
It became difficult for me to have her staying here. Her mother was trying to get her back on the straight and narrow. She's old now. And to be honest, you have to have a good reason to want to get back on.
Do you know a friend of Evelyn's by the name of McCaffrey?
Not personally.
We're struggling for leads, Robbins. Did she know McCaffrey?
She idolized him. From what I gather, the feeling was far from mutual. He seems to peddle a revolutionary stance, fixing the ills of society. You could see how it would appeal to down-and-outs like Evelyn.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Robbins.
No problem. Hey, I'd like to make arrangements for the funeral. You think I could get in touch with Evelyn's mother?
Put in a call to the watch commander at Central Station, Mr. Robbins. He'll be trying to reach the next of kin.
Thanks. Get the guy, huh? Evelyn never hurt anybody.
You're behind the wheel.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Car 11K, Car 11 King, KGPL.
11 King.
A message from Captain Donnelly. Return to Central, Code 2.
11 King, en route. Let's not keep the man waiting, Phelps.
The ACB.
The captain is downstairs with Ray Pinker and Carruthers.
Are you drunk, mister?
What's this about, Captain?
Ray and Mal have some concerns over the Henry and Muller cases, which I don't want aired outside of this room.
The evidence is solid, Captain.
I agree, Rusty. It's just that corpses keep piling up.
Copycats.
I've been banging the same drum. But the notes and the lipstick messages.
Evelyn Summers, Cartel Classic Carmine. Each woman, same brand, same color.
Teresa Terrelson didn't have a lipstick message.
Technically, you're right, Rusty. She didn't have any lipstick. But she did have a message. We found it beneath her dress, scraped with a sharp stick.
What did it say?
You sure you want to know?
Ray?
As far as we can be sure, it said cunt BD.
That's one way of looking at it.
Looking at what?
Cunt is all about access, Phelps. You're married, so yours is mortgaged. Some of us like to pay by installments. This guy doesn't like to pay at all.
Why are you so angry, Mal?
Because I just had to fire one of my assistants. He was a friend of Jameson's. God knows what he might have been up to.
Captain, we have good leads in the Summers case, but it's up to you to decide how we proceed.
Keep this under your hat for now. And follow up on Evelyn Summers. I want daily reports.
We got our orders. Back to the Summers case. Get an address for McCaffrey. He'll have blown the bar. I'll meet you outside.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address for a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Grosvenor McCaffrey. Apartment 6, 126 Yale Street, between Ord and Alpine.
Thanks.
Yeah, the bum took a swipe at me. Put him down with my sap.
You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
Let me pose a question.
Depends. What you got to do with?
Morals. Would it bother you to put the wrong person away?
Depends.
On what?
On whether anyone except the poor son of a bitch in the slammer ever found out.
Doesn't look like anybody's home.
Terrible shame. Means there's nobody to let us in. You want to do the honors, Phelps?
He said he was at home. He said he didn't know her. And we have the book.
Let's see Carruthers argue his way out of this one.
Is that you, Grosvenor? Who are you guys? What are you doing in here?
We're from the LAPD, ma'am. Do you know where we might find McCaffrey?
I'm his neighbor. Is he in trouble?
Look, lady, we need to find him, and in a hurry. Are you going to give me trouble?
He has a pigeon coop up on the roof. He spends his mornings up there when he's been drinking.
How do we get up there?
Down the hall and up the stairs.
Drunk and in command of a carrier pigeon. Surely we can write him up for that. A citation, at least.
Torn from the letter we found beside the body. At the very least, I'd say it ties McCaffrey to the scene.
I heard he's an honest cop. Now that's an oxymoron for you.
McCaffrey! Running on a hangover, McCaffrey? Sit down and we'll talk.
Son of a bitch. I'll go get our wheels.
McCaffrey! Running on a hangover, McCaffrey? Sit down and we'll talk.
I'll go get our wheels.
You a runner, McCaffrey? Stay and fight the good fight. Give it up, LAPD! McCaffrey, you're under arrest on suspicion of murdering Evelyn Summers.
We need to get downtown and wrap this thing up. It's got to be McCaffrey. Unless Tiernan set him up. You don't think that asshole Jameson could have done it, do you? Whoever did it. So what's that Dahlia fuck?
How do you know that McCaffrey didn't do the Dahlia?
We have a list of over 200 suspects. His name was never on it.
If you think the list is exhaustive, Rusty, who am I to argue?
Listen, let's just work the case at hand, shall we? Then we can sit down and put all the puzzle pieces together at a later date.
I'll hold you to that.
You sure you can make it stick with one of these suspects, gentlemen?
It's either McCaffrey or Tiernan, sir. I think Jameson is an aberration.
All right. I'll deal with that degraded lunatic myself. He's got some fearful retribution coming. Tiernan isn't one, McCaffrey isn't two. I want a confession from one of them. Don't fail me, young fellas.
Guy gave his wife a tap. I'd say all's fair in love.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Keep lying to me and I'll have you charged and in front of a grand jury before your feet touch the ground.
How can you possibly prove Evelyn and I were more than friends?
Sorry, my mistake. Sounds like half an answer to me, Tiernan. Were you sleeping with her?
That's none of your business.
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at her once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it?
She wanted something of his.
We either hang this on you or McCaffrey. You better give us something.
Well, McCaffrey's been in trouble with the law before. I mean, he always makes out it was some kind of labor dispute, but, you know, I'm not so sure.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
If you don't give me some reason to think differently about this, Tiernan, I'm gonna have to go to the DA.
I drank half a bottle of scotch. I don't remember a goddamn thing.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
No, we use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Evelyn was beaten to death with a lug wrench. We found a wrench at McCaffrey's apartment.
You see? It was McCaffrey. He had nothing but hatred for me and Evelyn.
Evelyn was missing a ring from her right hand.
That's strange. She always wore it. A big black circular disc with a white E in the middle. It was made from an old typewriter key, a present from the prop department at her old movie studio.
We're going to talk to McCaffrey. You need to think about what you've told us, Tiernan. You're not... Not in the clear.
I say we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence.
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
You told us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her.
You'll have to do better than that, Grosvenor. We know about you and Evelyn.
Evelyn was a lush, and a boring one at that. You can't link her to me.
We know that you thought enough of her to loan out your copy of the Metaphysics.
I what? I did no such thing. That bitch stole that book from my apartment. The impudent fucking moron.
And that made you angry?
Angry? I was livid. Looking up at me with that stupid face of hers, begging me to forgive her. Aha. Very good. That's one to you, detective.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
You're gonna need to do better if you don't want to swing for this.
I was having a political meeting in my apartment.
Cheese and crackers for the fifth columnist.
Some of these people will corroborate your story.
I won't give up names of party members.
Good. It's your funeral.
It's either gonna be you or Tiernan, Grosvenor.
Make it stick, detective. The party has good lawyers.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, detective?
I need the jacket on a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Just a moment, detective. McCaffrey was formerly under surveillance by the Red Squad. Convictions for petty theft. Dishonorable discharge from the Army during training at Syracuse. Assault on a local woman. Says he almost beat the woman to death.
Thank you. You were in the war?
Yes, I was. Seeing the things that I saw. It changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
You're lying, McCaffrey. You have a history of violence towards women.
How do you turn a couple parking tickets and a petty theft misdemeanor into an assault charge?
We know all about you and your dishonorable discharge, beating some poor woman near to death in Syracuse. You've never been in combat, McCaffrey. Your whole life is a fraud.
She was a goddamn peasant whore! She tried to steal from my wallet. I could have fought for this country. I could have.
You beat her because she stole from you, because she tried to outsmart you.
The ignorant audacity of the bitch. What is a man supposed to do? Sit there and take it? How is a man supposed to call himself a man?
And Evelyn Summers, a poor, drunken nobody, stole your book.
And she got what was coming to her!
Grosvenor McCaffrey, I'm charging you with the murder of Evelyn Summers. She was a sad lady who never hurt anyone except herself. I hope God finds a way to forgive you.
Congratulations, boys. You bagged the fine catch. Another red to boot. Grand. Now, I want you to put this business about a repeat offender out of your mind. This McCaffrey creature shows no remorse, and neither will the grand jury. You would have to walk a long mile to find a better candidate for an unmarked plot at the prison graveyard.
We have lost most of Shaughnessy and Dunn's squad. The gunny is dead, first platoon's in worse shape. That medic is either crazy or the bravest man alive.
Then we rally with the first, then try for the Nambus.
It's sheer to the left. To the right, it goes right through a pass with 2 Nambus and enfilade. Mate, we can lose everyone.
Lieutenant! Get back off this fucking bridge! They'll start walking the mortars back to their own positions. We only have minutes. I'm in charge here, Sergeant. Get your men off the bridge, Lieutenant. What's your unit, Sergeant? We don't have time for this, Lieutenant. What's your unit, Sergeant? I company 22nd Marines, Lieutenant, and we just saved your ass by fording the river. My orders are to reconnoiter the... I think that point is now moot. You have 10 men left. My orders are to save what's left. Move out!
Well done, lads. You did well with the Summers case. But we have a problem. The examiner received a new letter today.
Do you mind if I take a look, Ray?
Go right ahead. They've both been rinsed in gasoline.